Welcome to Saints Together. This is episode 1 of Conversations on Leadership and Christian Higher Education. My name is Jay McCurry, and I serve as the Provost and Chief Academic Officer at Randall University in Moore, Oklahoma. This podcast is for people who care deeply about Christian higher education, leaders, faculty, staff, trustees, pastors, alumni, and friends who believe this work still matters. Over the next few weeks, we're going to have real conversations. We're going to talk honestly, and we're going to talk about leadership and faith in higher education without drifting from our convictions. Christian higher education is under pressure. Enrollment is harder than it's ever been. Budgets are tighter, families are asking tougher questions, and the culture around us is changing fast. At the same time, Christian universities are being pulled in multiple directions, trying to remain competitive, accredited, financially stable, and faithful. That tension is real. This podcast exists because those conversations matter, and too often they don't happen publicly or they happen too late. Saints Together is a place to talk about leadership and Christian higher education clearly, faithfully, and without apology. Christian universities did not begin as alternatives to secular education. They were the foundation of higher education. Early colleges existed to form people, not just inform them, to shape character, not just careers, to prepare leaders who understand that faith and learning belong together. Over time, many institutions slowly untethered from that foundation, sometimes intentionally, sometimes gradually, sometimes without realizing what was being lost. Christian universities exist today to say something different, that Christ is Lord over all truth, that education is about formation, that worldview matters. A Christian university does more than prepare students for a job. It prepares them for a life. We don't just ask, what do you want to do? We ask, who are you becoming? We don't just teach information, we shape conviction. We don't compartmentalize faith, we integrate it across classrooms, residence halls, athletics, and campus life. And that doesn't happen by accident. It happens by intention, and it must be protected. Any university can deliver content, but Christian universities exist for formation of character, formation of worldview, formation of leaders who can think clearly, lead courageously, and live faithfully. That kind of formation takes clarity, it takes courage, and it takes leadership willing to make hard decisions. Christian universities live in constant tension. Academic excellence and biblical faithfulness, cultural engagement and doctrinal conviction, growth and mission integrity. If we release that tension, then we lose our identity. If we chase growth at the expense of mission, we drift. If we protect tradition without discernment, then we stagnate. Leadership is about stewarding that tension well. Mission drift rarely happens overnight. It happens one decision at a time, one compromise at a time, one moment of silence at a time. A policy here, a hire there, a scholarship, a partnership, a program. Eventually, the institution still sounds Christian, but it no longer thinks or acts Christian. Christian universities rise and fall on leadership. Presidents matter, provosts matter, boards matter, faculty and staff matter. Decisions made today shape institutional identity for decades. That's why clarity matters. That's why alignment matters. That's why courage matters. In future episodes, we'll talk about Christian worldview in the classroom, athletics and institutional mission, recruiting with integrity, housing and student formation, financial stewardship, board governance, leadership development, and what it takes for Christian universities to thrive, not just to survive. The title, Saints Together, is intentional. Christian higher education is not a solo effort. It takes presidents and provosts, faculty and staff, trustees and pastors, alumni and supporters. We do this work together. As we do it as saints, called by God, committed to something larger than ourselves, and responsible for stewarding institutions that bear His name. Christian universities don't exist by accident. They exist by conviction. They exist because people believe Christ still matters in higher education. That truth still matters. That formation still matters. My hope is that Saints Together becomes a place of clarity and encouragement for those who care deeply about Christian higher education. Thanks for listening. If this conversation matters to you, subscribe, share it with a colleague, and join us next time. My name is Jay McCurry, and this is Saints Together.